How goes it, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Patterson L Properties. I have a great friend, a brother from another mother with me, doing his first video with me in regards to Patterson L Properties. He's done a bunch of videos with me on There Is Anything Goes, Mr. Adrian Gonzalez.
How's it going?
All righty. And basically, we're just going to have a conversation in regards to, obviously, what's happening today. We won't mention the name because those videos are getting flagged for some odd reason. And how we foresee it's affecting the real estate industry now, and how we know it's going to affect it in the future. I mean, it's kind of crazy, especially given the fact for whether you're an investor, whether you're somebody trying to sell a house. Some people are still able to do certain closings. A lot of certain people aren't, and especially with a lot of people that are like, hey, you can see my house sight unseen, or you can see it from 6 feet away, but you will not be coming inside, especially if they're currently living there right now. They don't want people going inside their homes right now. So, but some people, obviously, if they're the right motivated seller, then they're going to be like, okay, well, they have to have masks on, we'll have masks on, et cetera, and so forth, or we'll stay outside. And, there's some sort of a compromise.
Yeah, some compromise does need to happen because, especially right now, given the market, I'm really concerned more about prolonged, how long it's going to be before more openings actually happen. We can actually go out there and actually do more business.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, that's one of my concerns, because I'm still waiting on this one wholesale deal now, because I've worked on it for a while, and obviously this whole thing occurred and it kind of slowed things down. Last weekend, I even had the buyer go to the seller's house, and they were respectful. They had gloves on, their mask on. They even had they even made sure to cover their feet and whatnot before they even walked into the house. So that much credit, and they would make sure they were in and out. Very respectful of the tenant that's currently living in that property right now. But I was talking to the other buyer, and he was just like, yeah, our biggest problem right now is a lot of our hard money lenders are kind of shaky in regards to lending anybody any money. Now they're sitting on it, and they're just like they're not really issuing out any loans right now to anybody. And even with the hard money lenders, the interest rates are through the roof. But however, you have to be a confident, obviously, lender if you're going to actually lend money out to people. I mean, you and I were talking about earlier, the one bank, what is it, JP Morgan Chase?
JP Morgan Chase.
They're saying, like, nobody really uses them like that. But however, you never know, other lending institutions might follow suit where they're saying, hey, you got to have this specific credit score, and you got to put down 20% for even a regular personal property, not an investment.
It's going to set a trend for the industry almost as a whole. What's going to be happening and such, especially given that market. Given the finance market and stuff, I'm really. It's really not looking. I mean, it looks like it's going to be eventually. We're eventually maybe we're hitting a recession now.
Right.
It's just I feel like real estate's going to be here. It's going to be a little bit slower to respond than it normally was given the circumstances. Because normally real estate is an indicator. Normally it's something it happens initially to show the signs of recession. But in this case, we had an event happen because of the scale of it. How often we have a pandemic and stuff like that, COVID-19. So basically, it's just not normal. What we're seeing, we're seeing numbers of jobless numbers, with no sight of when everything's going to get back to normal. But I mean, I still remain faithful that real estate is still going to be the best asset in regards to all of this. Because one thing real estate does is, it holds its value, and especially, we've given, eventually, the markets are going to recover. It's only not a matter of fact of if, but a matter of fact of when.
Exactly.
Even now, they're getting ready to basically try to push through what is actually transpiring now. So it's going to also affect, the markets as well, especially jobless claims. Because I feel like, once that starts getting back under, the economy is going to start recovering again, but it's still going to be, not going to be a good situation because a lot of businesses are going to collapse. A lot of service industry, hospitality, and stuff like that. But real estate, there's always going to be a market for real estate. Always market for say, always opportunity to look at, other options.
Right.
Not the traditional options. You have to go towards, other kind of options like, buying below, market value. If you can find those properties that are, below market value, then, find those properties that are below market value in order to actually, be able to find yourself a secure holding to weather this, this oncoming anomaly that we're experiencing, which is this COVID pandemic and also recession combination, but eventually we'll recover.
Exactly. And it's funny that you mentioned that, because to add on to that, with a lot of companies going away for good, do you foresee more possible foreclosures on the rise and rentals? Foreclosures on the rise, obviously. And with that being said, more renters on the rise?
I actually do. I do, because of the job loss.
Mm-hmm.
I do. Eventually, I'm going to see, we're going to see foreclosures back on the rise. It's essentially, wow, just trying to look at the scope and look at the impact of what has actually basically causing everyone to just basically stop.
Right.
It's actually incredible, if it's anything, because it's also, we're learning a lot about the impact of just in general, exactly who does what and what's really important to society and such like that as well too. But it's just, as far as that, I do see foreclosures within the next maybe 2 to 3 months. I may see, unless they pass this next stimulus package, which is going to, I think they're talking about giving maybe like $2,000 a month or something like that. I believe that's what they're talking about. If that somehow happens, and
I'll take it.
Yeah, they're talking about another round of stimulus, or trying to refund the SBA,
Right.
SBA, all this association, by so many billions in order to get more of that back in the economy. So they're trying to stable up and keep the economy propped up.
Right.
But I do feel like that is going to affect the wave of foreclosures, because people are going to lose their jobs. There's just a lot of them are going to be like a lot of service jobs, but it's unfortunate. Everything it's going to change the demographic, and not just even after this, people are going to be skeptical. Are you really going to want to go to the cinema after all this? Do you really want to go around a public swimming pool? Do you want do you want to be around a lot of people? So social gathering.
According to Florida, they can go to the beach now.
Yeah, because I think they feel like the sunlight kills the virus, which is fun fact that's not true. But anyway, that's another story. There's something down there. They're magic people. They're on a different wavelength. They see things a little bit differently. It's the sunshine. It's just it's there's a lot of sunshine. There's a lot of sunshine down there. It's that, sometimes too much of anything is bad.
All I can do is just say, you know what, make your personal choices and you go from there.
Yep. Me
personally, I'm not going to feel that comfortable doing specific public functions for a while now. I don't know about you.
I definitely agree.
No matter what anybody says, so I leave it at that. But yeah, it's going, like you and I talked about yesterday. See, the economy is never going to be the same after this, because a lot of, like you said, a lot of companies are going to be like, look, why am I going to pay for all this office space? I figured it out that we can function without having all this commercial real estate. So why not break the lease? Because, commercial real estate landlords are losing a lot of money right now too.
That is true.
A lot of companies aren't paying them either because they're like,
yep.
We're not even utilizing your space. We're shut down. Why should we pay to be in a space we're not in? And I just foresee a lot of companies, just for their survival, not even just for the economics of them saving money, but for their survival, they're going to be like, you know what? All you employees, we only need 10 people out of 300 to be in a building. We don't need, so all you guys work from home. We'll make sure we have the right, internet infrastructure in place.
Infrastructure to be able to support that. Yep.
Exactly. We'll put the money into that instead of into a building that we really don't need you in anyways. And if we need to have a meeting, we can rent out like a hotel or a hotel or something to that,
Yeah,
or event center.
or an event hall or something like that. Yes, you are correct.
Exactly.
That is definitely something that is. I'm sure this is going to showcase that, okay, all these companies too. They also spend a lot of money to be able to plan for a situation like this. So this
Yes.
is really also putting a test on what all that money was actually spent for. If it actually was really, it was worth it. Because eventually, yes, like you're saying, why wouldn't they want to have their employee there, especially because you have cameras on them. You could literally have your employee in their house the entire day, and you could have, like, literally you would have a camera on them because
Yep.
quite literally every single computer has a camera.
Bingo.
So yeah, you could technically, you would never need an office building. Theoretically, you could have people doing stuff like that from their homes, as long as within a specific confined area. So you're definitely seeing a wave of change that's going to happen. And
Yes, sir.
employers and all these corporations are really looking at this, and I'm sure that eventually they're going to say that, what? We don't really need all this physicality. We need to go more digital.
Yep. And we need to consolidate. And if we really need to have a face-to-face, because they already do this anyway, it's kind of like how you and I are on Zoom right now. A lot of, like, say if a company's in Washington, D.C., but they have a branch office in Chicago, there are already these, virtual meetings on a regular basis anyways. Well, this whole situation is going to make them just more consolidation and whatnot so that they can save money. But that leaves an opportunity for investors like us, because then the value of that commercial real estate might go down.
Yeah.
Hypothetically speaking, hey, might go down, and it might even open up opportunities for people like us to say, hey, we can buy those places and do this with it. Turn it into an apartment complex, or et cetera and so forth.
That is very true. It does leave another avenue of opportunities, which is something even more that's even more exciting about, like, what is happening, about the possible upsides of what is happening, because there are a lot of it's so much so negative because of how much negativity is actually going on. But there may be other advantages for other people, in different circumstances that maybe prep themselves a little bit better, in regards
Exactly.
to having their incomes and such like that. But I would definitely agree.
Yeah, this is some sort of a correction in a sense. However, like you said, other opportunities, because the digital economy was already blowing up before this took place. Just helped it go into overdrive, and with that overdrive is going to bring more real estate opportunities for investors like us and whatnot. Because you already know, with people of our generation, a lot of us, even if a lot of people in our generation don't actually want to be homeowners. They love being business owners more than they love being homeowners. I think this is the first generation that I can say that with sincerity, a lot more people love being business owners more than homeowners, because you can get as many tax write-offs, or not, if not more, if you're a business owner but you rent a place out.
Yeah.
Because you still get those 1099 options being self-employed. So therefore, when you get your taxes done and whatnot, you can write off just as many things, if not more, than an actual homeowner.
Yeah.
Like when you and I went to Los Angeles, a lot of people that one place we stayed in the Airbnb, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That lady she owned two of those places there. However, she was renting another place that was closer to her job.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so because she told me over the phone she owns like 6 places throughout, and that means a lot in Los Angeles, throughout the Los Angeles areas. But the place she's actually living in, she's renting it out and whatnot, and it's actually in Hollywood, 10 minutes from her job. She says she can walk to her job.
Wow.
A lot of people do that. They'll own a house but live in a major city so they can live the city life but still get the tax write-offs at the same time. And because the crazy thing is, this actually does slow down the home buying process. And because to me, it's like it's I get what the banks are doing. It's not suicidal for them to say, okay, if you want to buy a home, you got to put 20% down. But I think it's somewhat suicidal, because most working people don't even have $1,000 in their freaking bank account.
Yeah, they live paycheck to paycheck. It's definitely, like, if they're going to say that they want to go that route where they want solid 20%, the vast majority of Americans are not going to be able to buy a home. So you have to have a lot of liquid assets. And right now, people are living on credit right now. And
Yes.
adding job loss, seems a bit unrealistic.
I agree. I mean, yeah, it's crazy that you mentioned it. You're right. Most people do live on credit, and you can utilize credit for your advantage, obviously, especially when it comes to purchasing real estate. But it's already hard enough for most people to buy a house at a lot of times even 3 or 5%. So if you're going to jump the standards up to 20%, for the investors, we're like, okay, it's another day at the office. But for regular working people that have no desire to be a real estate investor, I mean, obviously, unless because I know there's still states out there that have the first home buyers program and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's a mandatory. I think the state kicks in the bill so we can put it down to you only have to put down up to 3% when it comes to your down payment or whatnot. Now, take care of your closing costs. But, and then the thing is, if they did something like that, then the ripple effect for title companies would be tremendous, and they would probably make them lose a lot more money as well, because then less people would be closing on houses.
That's true.
But the upside is it might actually up the ante for the hard money lenders, because hey, you don't have to put down anything.
That's true.
Just have to pay a higher interest rate.
Yeah.
But when do you foresee this actually being over with so that people like us can actually start rolling the ball?
Honestly, when I think about it, given the adjustments in the economy and what's going to end up happening over the next 3 to 6 months, realistically, what they're going to do is try to in regards to opening the economy. I'm going to say maybe a month and a half to maybe 3 months. I'm going to say maybe you'll start seeing businesses really starting to return back to normal, but with enhanced, precautions like, face masks and people being, practicing still social distancing. It's going to create a different kind of culture, different environment, but probably within the next month and a half to 3 months. That's kind of a little vague area, but, this whole month has really been gauging on exactly what's exactly transpiring in the markets, and especially the real estate markets, because we're still waiting really to see the impact on the real estate market, because we won't really see anything more probably until the end of the month. If like anything, what's really going to happen, just given more time, how much time is open and free. But realistically, I would give it, like I said, a month and a half to 3 months tops. We should start seeing things start moving back, at least somewhat in a recovery phase.
Yeah, because the crazy thing with the whole forbearance nonsense, how that's going to screw a lot of people over in regards to, go work out a plan where you don't have to pay your mortgage for 90 days. However, you're going to have to make that big old balloon payment when the 90 days are up. Even though we know you can't afford to pay for the next 2 months, but hey, you can pay that 2 months worth of your mortgage plus the next third month, even though you don't have a job. But hey, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
To add on to that, I know it's laughable. It's very laughable. To add on to that, I didn't even think about it. I was listening to a podcast today called Earn Your Leisure. And one of the loan officers stated, people aren't taking into account that, remember, your title company pays for your property taxes.
Yeah.
So the county, your local county or city that you're living in will be like, hey, where's my money?
Yeah.
That deal might have worked with the bank, but you didn't make a deal with us.
Yeah.
So they'll be like, where's my money? So that's when I see the unfortunate opportunity coming up, because I don't like to see people lose their house, and I don't like to call that an opportunity. But I see tax liens increasing this year because of that.
Yeah, I can definitely see that that's going to happen, because, like I said, with these type of, what they're doing, these modifications and stuff like that, or whatever these things that they're doing. But yeah, I did definitely see the more tax liens and stuff like that, because foreclosures as well going up as well. I honestly, I can see that. So like I said, if you have a lot of liquid asset, I think that maybe that could be also beneficial if you have a liquid asset to back that. So you're going to have a lot of opportunity to be able to get a lot of stuff, once again, below market value, to be able to definitely maybe able to turn a profit.
You're right. And the crazy thing is like, I really hope this is a lesson to people that were just depending on a job, or if you are, you better hope it's a mission essential job, because it's just, I don't know what's going to wake these people up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of wonder what these people are waiting on. It's like, hey, your paycheck is not guaranteed to you. You can't live life like tomorrow is not going to happen. You have to have other streams of income. You You have to get rid of your. We've talked about it. You've talked about this. You have to get rid of your liabilities. You know, you have
Yes.
to be able to create more assets for yourself. You have to be able to create more streams of income. You know,
Yes.
we talked about this. You know, and that is also another key to being able to beat out any kind of recession, no matter what we deal with. Is always having multiple streams of income, always having multiple assets.
Yes,
So,
sir.
getting rid of all your liabilities, every single one of your liabilities,
Even if they're people, right?
even if they're people, yes, because you have to understand what people are going to also affect your life too, just like negative things that negative habits, negative traits, and stuff like that.
Right.
You
Right.
also don't want to bring on any liabilities. The only one you want to get rid of liabilities, you want to block yourself from receiving any liabilities to only adding things that are going to add assets.
Exactly.
It's going to provide you multiple streams of income for success.
Exactly. And I think I always say, it just needs to be a part of their everyday conversation. Like whenever you and I talk, we'll talk and make sure that we're good. But every time it's like, hey, what good stocks are out there? Hey, LJ, how's your Carrot Bars business going? How you setting it up? Are you getting referrals? Things of that nature.
Yeah,
What's the real estate market looking like? It has to become a part of your everyday conversation.
it does. And I think that's vital in order to be able to stay truly informed and be able to stay ahead of this market and be able to really stay focused on what's really important, which is going to be your financial freedom.
Exactly. And I know a lot of people don't think that that's important, but if this crisis doesn't prove how important having some sort of financial freedom, then I really don't know what the heck is.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to prove a lot to a lot of people, and some people just need to they need to wake up, but eventually they're eventually going to wake up, whether it's the easy way or the hard way.
Exactly. Exactly. Because just being a W-2 employee and whatnot, it's just not going to fly anymore. It's like you're talking about getting your taxes done. You got to get in the 1099 club,
Yep.
whether how expensive you do it, how cheap you do it, you got to get into the 1099 club because
Yeah,
it's like I said, you can do it. You can join our Carrot Bars International team by buying just cheap pieces of gold and buying packages and referring people and do all that good stuff. Or you can find your other home-based business or open up your own LLC, but you got to do something.
Yeah, that's true.
Because if not, eventually it's going to catch up with you.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but it's like when I think about the stimulus check I received, I don't think about just paying bills with it. I'm thinking about doing other things.
I'm actually looking at some long-term stocks.
Exactly.
Like looking at the current trend over the course, maybe the next maybe 3 to 6 months, and look at some of these stocks that I know for a fact that looking at this current market values and direction and stuff like that, but I know that are going to only increase.
Exactly.
Look at the commodities and such like that.
Exactly.
Because the markets have changed. That needs to be taken under observation and such. But that's what I'm looking at least half of it. The other half I'm going to probably put more into my business. What I do.
Exactly. And that's the smartest thing you can do. That is really the smartest thing you do. I mean, what is it? Me myself, like I said, I bought some more long-term stocks. I've set up with my Carrot Bars International business so I can start buying a specific amount of gold every month now.
Yeah.
And dividends off of that. And then it's just like that's what it's all about. It's like just diversifying everything.
Yeah, that's true.
Speaking of which, we need to get you to start buying some gold, young man, with your Carrot Bars package.
Actually, I think we should do that today. Actually, matter of fact, you think I'm joking, but as soon as we get off, half there, then I think I'll probably go half here to the Carrot Bar. Go half on the Carrot Bars. Why not?
Yeah, why not, right? Oh yeah. Just buy the bronze package, the cheapest one, and then that way you get your MasterCard, you get your gold, you get your package, you start referring people. You go from there. Like I said, because another thing, people, you see two people right here, two entrepreneurs, two people who own their own businesses, and two people who are talking about keeping currency in their circle.
Yeah.
If you do the same thing as you do when it comes to football and Netflix, I swear to God, if I see somebody on Facebook again saying, "Tell me something good on Netflix," I'm going to scream. I swear. Oh God, that's my little personal thing for the day. I'm just like, I get being entertained, but golly, man, use this extra time to to do something productive. But do you think the market will actually correct itself by January, or what do you think?
Hmm.
You think at least be more confidence, maybe? Let's put it like that.
Man, this is that's a really. I mean, I don't know if it's not. I know it's not going to go back to normal. It's not going to go back to what it was. But that's
Okay.
just, I'm pretty certain about, because it's needed a correction for a long time. It's just
You're right.
it took a pandemic to create that catalyst for a correction.
You're right.
But I think mostly everything should be back to normal, somewhat as usual by January. I can definitely see that as a definite, workable timeline
Got you.
uh,
Well,
for the most part. But there are going to be other like we had talked about masks and stuff. There are going to be other precautions in place, though.
yeah, that's true. I mean, I can just imagine what it's going to be like flying on uh, on any airline, after this is over with.
Oof. I know there's going to be a lot of changes, in the airline, flight industry, travel industry. A lot of
Yeah.
things have to change, and it's going to kind of have to cost a lot of money. So we're going to see exactly what the changes are going to be. It's going to be interesting.
I think, and I can just imagine how this is going to affect Airbnb, because it's like, how comfortable are people going to feel going to a stranger's house?
That's true.
Uber.
Yep.
I mean, Lyft. I mean, the list can go on and on. It's like,
Yeah, it's definitely changing it's definitely going to change the demographics of what's going on. It's going to be very interesting on exactly the changes that things are going to happen. But I mean, people are still gonna have to probably they're still gonna go do their whole normal thing of going, out and about. It's just gonna be modified more.
yeah. And maybe people, when they're doing it, they have a face mask on.
That's gonna be a new thing. Face masks, and probably that's probably gonna be the big thing now. It's gonna be face
You
masks.
think we'll be like China, where it's just normal?
Yeah, I feel like we're getting like that now, especially with this new pandemic, and how it mutates and such like that too. I would definitely say yes.
Yeah, I mean, I know one thing is like going to the beach and to a pool is definitely not on the menu.
Yes, yeah. I don't see myself going to a pool.
There's nothing anybody can say to say, yeah, let me go into a water with a bunch of people I don't know.
Yeah, it could be infected with COVID-19. No, 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 no. Thank you. No, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to go into a house because I can at least clean it myself or pay somebody to clean it. But another thing, going into an actual pool or a public beach, it's just, I'm not there yet. And I probably won't be there for a while. But on that note, any last words before we end this to the current and future real estate investors?
I would say keep your eye on the markets. Um, when in terms of like just watch the job reports. That's going to be beneficial, but really just got to play it by ear. We're still in uncharted territory, but we're going to be reopening. So I mean, like I said, it's just give it about a month and a half,
Yeah.
probably even 2 months, and you'll see some definite changes. But there's going to be some correction in the markets, especially the rest of the market. But just
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
look for the deals. Now's not the time for the traditional. Don't do the traditional.
And I couldn't agree with you more on that one because, like I said, I'm looking forward to checking out the land bank in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm
Yeah.
really looking forward to going to a delinquent tax auction in Reading, Pennsylvania, and Harrisburg, especially given the fact that Harrisburg has a lot of multi-units.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm definitely looking forward to those because, like you said, the traditional days it's going to hold off for a little bit. On traditional, I'm all about it, and hopefully the prices go down a little bit more, so it makes it that much more easier. Because to me, if real estate's sitting, then it's not good for business. So
Yeah,
it's going to create more motivated sellers, which is just good for investors and wholesalers like ourselves. So
that is true.
on that note, family, thanks for watching. Please share, please like, definitely please subscribe, and check out being a part of the Karatbars family so that you can buy gold for others, have them buy gold and get commissions off their referrals and their commissions all at the same time. Because if you don't have currency in your circle, then there's something wrong with your circle. That's just my personal opinion, and I'll leave it at that. All right. So,
100%.
take care, everybody.